really glad to be here with two of our new staff members. Joe Rushlau and Allison Hadjis joined us on staff this past year and have been kind of settling into their new roles here. And so we wanted to give you a chance to get to know them. So maybe Joe, start us off.
Sure, thanks, Father. Hello, my name's Joe Rushlau, and I am a graduate of Michigan Tech, 1989, out of the forestry department in wood science. After graduating from Tech, I went off into the Air Force for the next 28 years, then spent a few years in industry and was invited back by Father Ben to help work on the staff. So now I'm the Director of Development here at St. Al's, and my job entails gathering the resources that we need to make all of our programs work, reaching out to all of you, our alumni, our friends and family, to get you involved in our mission of bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to Michigan Tech. So thank you.
I'm Allison Hadjis. I am the Director of Data and Communications here. I started a little bit before Joe and was handling our database until he got here. And then I also do the communication side of things, so I try to keep as up to date as possible with social media, and then I do the email campaigns that you guys might get. I have the pleasure of working with the students, and I love interviewing anybody when I can, walking around, seeing what's going on, taking pictures of everything. I was born in the UP, and then I grew up downstate, and maybe 7-ish years ago I came back to the UP, and a year and a half ago now I came up to the Copper Country, which is like a whole nother animal. I love it up here, and I was lucky enough to meet my now husband. He was a focused missionary at Northern. I had absolutely no faith in my life whatsoever. And he, kind of mentioned Jesus. I was like, all right, I'll talk about this a little bit. And then one thing led to another. And I knew about RCAA. I was like, yeah, where should I go? And they said, you have to go to St. Al's. And I said, it's not as close to me as some of the other. And they're like, no, you have to go to St. Al's. So then I called you guys. I made an appointment. And I started ICA very shortly after that. And I was confirmed here last Easter, and it's just been a real joy and a real blessing, and I'm so thankful to be here and part of this community.
Yeah, there's a lot of different members of the team. The St. Al's family, prominently, of course, is made up of Michigan Tech students, but also faculty and staff, also community members, and a lot of different people all kind of being drawn into the mission. Joe, maybe just share a little bit about your experience of not only being an alum, but also being the father of an alum.
Oh, absolutely. So back when I was going through Michigan Tech in the late 80s, I came to St. Al's every Sunday for Mass, and it seemed like the parish did not have all the activity that we do now. It was a little bit slower. There were some things going on, but when we got re-involved with the parish about 5 or 6 years ago, when my son George started to go to Michigan Tech, and he graduated in December of 21, we got re-engaged with the parish, met Father Ben, and started to see the incredible difference at St. Al's. The Holy Spirit is really working here. You come in here any time of the day or night, and you will find students studying, playing, holding Bible studies. I mean, this is like a home away from home. I've talked to many students who they talk about they love coming up the hill to St. Al's because they always get something to eat. They love coming up the hill because it's peaceful and quiet. They can spend some time in prayer. They can hang out with friends. There are just so many good reasons why the students come here now and spend their time at St. Al's. So when Father Ben asked me to come back up here last year and be a part of, the mission at St. Al's, there's really no way I could say no. I mean, I'd been praying to God for, what do you want me to do next, God? I've done a lot of things, and I think I've been following your call. And when Father Ben called, it was like, okay, that's the answer. Come back and work at St. Al's and help gather all these wonderful students to the church where we need them. We need them for the future, and the foundation they're getting here in their faith, I have just myself not really seen anywhere else.
Allison, a big part of your job is telling the story of what happens here as Director of Communications. Any favorite moments or any things that have really caught your attention as you've talked to alumni or students, as you've done interviews? We've worked together now on a number of newsletters.
Yeah. I love interviewing, and I love reaching out to the students and figuring out the questions to ask, and then they get to kind of share, what would kind of be very personal thoughts they wouldn't get to share in another setting, or maybe no one has asked them that question before. And it's just phenomenal to hear and read their responses. Like they feel at home at St. Al's, or they feel on fire for Jesus at St. Al's. This past January, I had the privilege of riding along with a busload of students down to the Sikh National Conference in St. Louis, Missouri, and that was really cool. To get to go together as a group from St. Al's, there was definitely that sense of bringing the Yooper spirit down to St. Louis and representing. That was really cool. It also struck me how excited people were to see each other. I saw you 5 years ago at Sikh. How are you doing? What are you doing now? And then everyone remembers each other. I think being a part of St. Al's really turns into this worldwide network of like-minded people. And it's a beautiful environment to get to come into one's full self in the church and with other students and other young adults.
In the course of a day, in the course of the week, a lot of different things happen here at St. Al's, and we're trying to engage students kind of where they're at, and students are obviously in a lot of different places. Just last night we were working on the Ice Chapel, as we do leading up to Winter Carnival, and a student I've never seen before walked up, and so Joseph got involved and was shoveling away. He did remark that he probably should bring gloves the next time, so there's a bit of a learning curve there, but it's a joy to see students kind of connecting, building relationships with each other, and then growing in lots of different ways. And that's what St. Al's does, and we're so grateful and so dependent on your support to make that happen.